Hello, welcome. I'm Bill Lampton with Mark Garofalo. Mark is a business partner with Preston and Partners, an executive search firm. Mark and I met when he was the Chief Development Officer at the Terry College of Business at the University of Georgia, and fortunately for me, he has kept in touch. I mentioned that he's with executive search, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Mark, one of the things in dealing with those who come to you in a job search, I'm sure you notice their communication skills. To what extent do you pay attention to their communication skills?
We pay very close attention to that, Bill. Naturally, and throughout the interview process, communication skills are going to be very crucial to their performance in front of the interviewer.
To be specific on that, what communication skills does a candidate need to be exceptional in if they are going to excel in the job market?
The number one communication skill, believe it or not, is listening. Listening can be very, very important. Answering the question that is asked is very important. Many times people go into an interview with many things that they want to say, and they often won't answer the question accurately that was asked, trying to get their script in, so to speak. So I would say be more natural and conversational, and in addition to listening to the interviewer, you need to pay attention to their body language.
All right, for a minute on the listening bit, it seems to me, you said to me that in a successful interview, the interviewee has listened more than they've spoken.
That's correct. One thing that I like to say is try to make the interviewer speak 60% of the time, and maybe you speak 40% of the time. And that's very important, I think. For one, many people tend to ramble when they get nervous, and they will talk a lot, and that doesn't come off very well in an interview.
And also, when you're listening, you demonstrate that you're interested, and you also illustrate that you're there to learn, not just to convey who you are.
That's correct. And part of that learning actually starts before the interview, in that you need to do a lot of research on the person you're meeting, their background, the company, and the industry, such that you have several good questions that are thought-provoking and open-ended that get them talking, and you will find that they will start selling you on the position and the opportunity rather than you being in a position where you have to sell yourself throughout the interview.
And, of course, you mentioned body language. Get specific for us on that, please.
Yes, body language is an important listening skill, if you will, or communication skill. And you can notice maybe when someone is paying attention to you, and you can notice maybe when they're looking down at their watch, waiting for the interview to be done. That's an obvious example, but there are very subtle cues that you can pay attention to that allow you to sum up a point when you think you've lost their attention, or maybe continue when you think that you have hit on something that they're very interested in hearing about.
We haven't mentioned speaking skills, and I like very much the fact that you've talked about listening, you've talked about body language, but certainly a candidate's ability to express himself or herself, whether talking one-on-one like we're doing, or whether you're talking to a large search committee. That's vital as well.
That's correct. One of the things that you and I were talking about over lunch is not coming off as being rehearsed, that it's much better to have a conversational style. That way you can kind of operate on the fly, again, responding to their thoughts and their observations, that using that listening skill and then responding in turn. I think that keeps it more casual and relaxed and gives them a better feeling about you and how you would act in the job.
One of my favorite phrases along that line is to plan, but don't can.
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. Conversational style, as we mentioned, and trying not to be too long-winded. If you can make your points in a very quick and efficient way, I think that's always best in interviews.
Listen to people, observe body language, be able to express yourself. The candidates who have this are most likely to succeed in the job market?
Yes, I believe so. And always, in your interviews, just make sure again that you're relaxed, confident, and go into them really being comfortable with who you are. And I think that's a good way to approach it.
These vital skills, how can a person acquire them?
That the saying practice makes perfect. Nobody's perfect, but certainly the more you practice, I think through networking and having lots of conversations, either live on the phone or in person, rehearsing. If you have a wife or a partner in life that you can rehearse with, or you can seek out the professional help of someone like Bill here, who's a communications coach. I think that would be a very good thing to do if you're seeking jobs at a high level.
Right along with that, it's wonderful that all of us have easy and cost-effective access to video so that we can video our presentations. We can do a mock interview with someone and pick up telltale signs of communication problems that we want to resolve.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you notice this professional athletes do that. They video their golf swing or their delivery in a pitch to try to hone those finer points. I think that, if people were to look at themselves on film, they would notice things and things that they could correct always with their presentation style.
And you and I know that Aaron Murray, the University of Georgia quarterback, by now he's looked at, I understand, 6 replays of the game between Georgia and Clemson to see what he did that he could improve on for the next game.
Yes, I understand they spend lots of time in the film room at UGA, coaches and players, and they're striving for that perfection. So it's a great tool to use for honing your communication skills.
Mark, we really appreciate, from a professional in the executive search industry, we appreciate your sharing with us how important communication is, what the skills are that we need, and how we can acquire them. Thanks so much for being with us today.
The pleasure was all mine, Bill. Thank you.
And I'm sure that you have benefited from these. If you're in the job search mode, or if you know someone who is, be sure to share this video with them, because Mark Garofalo is a person who knows what it does take to succeed in the highest levels. Again, thanks for being with us. I'm Bill Lampton.